Hello everyone, welcome back. So today we are learning about verbs. But before I proceed, please like and subscribe. Also turn on your notification so that you can keep up with our amazing content. You can send this video to your friends and tell them to send to their friends and their friends so that they can also learn just as much as you are about to learn. So we are going to be discussing verbs. What are verbs? Is the question that may pop into your mind right now. So verbs are doing words. Verbs are doing words. Pay attention to the keyword which is doing. So verbs are doing words, and you can also refer to them as action words. Action words, which means a verb is the word that describes an action. It describes something that a person does or an animal does. Let's have examples. For an example, you may consider the following words. We have dance. We have dance. So dance is something that a human being does. Usually when people go to the dance and they dance at home, they dance wherever it is where they learn how to dance. But when you say a person dances, you're referring to an action that a person does, which is why we say dance is a verb, because it is a doing word or an action word, which in other words, we can say it describes an action that a person does. You can also consider read. Read. You are reading, you have your book in your hands, you are reading that book, you're trying to understand what it talks about. And when you are doing that, what are you doing? You are doing something. That is why this word is referred to as a verb, because it describes an action that a person does. We can also look at another word, which can be to write. Like I am doing right now when I'm writing, I am doing an action, and the word that describes that action is write. So it is referred to as a verb. We also have sing. Most of you love singing. They love musicals and a lot of different songs. So singing, or to say sing, is a verb because it describes a doing word. It describes an action that is done by a person. And we can also say think. Think. So this is the word that describes something that a person does with their mind. Something that a person does with their mind, which is to think. You are sitting down there, maybe people are having a conversation and you are zoning out thinking about something. So the word think describes describes an action of a person. And that is why we say it is a verb. And the last example that we are going to have today is run. The last example is run. So when you're running to your friends, or maybe at school you're having a marathon competition or sprint competition and you are running, you know that run is a verb because it describes an action that you are doing. You are running down the streets, you are running. So it describes an action that you are doing. That is why we refer to it as a verb. Let's go through this one more time. A verb is a doing word or an action word, and a verb describes the action that a person does, an action that is being done. So these are some of the examples of verbs. We have dance, we have read, we have write, we have sing, think, or run. So these are things that people can do. These are things that people can do. They are referred to as verbs because they are action words. Let's proceed. Amongst the words that you see in front of you, we have verbs and words that are not verbs. So what you're going to do is to look at these words and consider the definition of verbs. The definition, which is verbs are a doing word or verbs are an action word. So what you are going to do is to write down the following words, which is laugh, she, beautiful, sleep, eat, and joy. So you're going to write these words down and circle verbs amongst these words. And on our next lesson, we will be looking at the correct answers. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope I will see you again on our next lesson. Thank you so much for concentrating and paying attention. I will see you again next time. Goodbye.